What's up gamers? Welcome to another video. So in this video I'll just be going over what I do to optimize my Windows 11 PCs when I first get them. So I got this PC from a family member and I just wanted to make it a little bit more privacy and security focused and to get a lot of the bloatware and ads out of the Windows operating system. So these are just the first steps and programs I install and things that I do just to customize the operating system and to make it a little bit more usable. So I hope that y'all find the video interesting or helpful. Let me know down below if you do, and let's get into it. What do you think, kitty? Alright, so first things first, let's change up this taskbar. So I just like removing basically almost everything, just hiding the search, task view, widgets. I also like to change up the taskbar behaviors. I just basically switch all of these off. And also get rid of notifications. Also usually like to make the taskbar hide and put it all the way to the left of the screen. So it looks kind of more like classic Windows, but I also like hiding it because it's kind of a little bit more like Mac, which I enjoy using sometimes. I'll also get rid of all these icons here in the taskbar. I think it just looks a lot cleaner and a lot better. Alright, next up, let's dismiss some of these warnings here and go through our security settings just a little bit. Make sure we turn everything on and that it's all secure. So I want to just run through the security settings in Windows Defender and just make sure everything's good to go before we do anything else. Alright, next up, as you can see, we are using a local account. I have a different video that I'll be posting on how to do that, how to make a local account so we're not signing into any Microsoft services. After that, you want to just be sure to update Windows before we proceed. It might download some new programs and things. So I already updated, so I'm just getting the security intelligence update right now, but you'll want to do that before doing anything else. Also, be sure to uninstall Copilot. You can go through the programs here and just kind of uninstall what you don't need or use. Some of them won't let you, so we'll take care of that later. I'll show you different ways to uninstall, but I'll just go through here. Definitely get rid of anything that says Copilot or just programs you don't use. You'll probably want to keep Microsoft Edge in the store and some Microsoft programs because it could break things. So you want to just be careful. Here's also the installed apps in the apps section of settings. So you can just go through here. Gonna definitely get rid of OneDrive and programs I just don't use, Phone Link, things like that. Uninstall Xbox Live. Don't really know what that is. Get rid of Power Automate. Alright, another thing that I like to do is just kind of condense down a lot of these pinned icons here. I also like combining them and just organizing them a bit better. So we'll just give this a name of System. Then we got Settings and File Explorer. You can organize this any way you like, but it's just a thing that I like to do just to make it a little bit more organized and better looking. We just call this like Tools. I'll make like a Notes little folder thing later. So we'll just call this Tools. It's kind of just tools you have built into your Windows system. You throw in the store there as well. Get rid of LinkedIn. What the heck? Alright, next up, I like to go into privacy and security and just manually go through all these options to see what I want to keep on and off. So you definitely want data encryption on. And you can kind of just go through and see, I'm definitely going to turn all of this off. This is not stuff I want to send to Microsoft or have anyone know. You know, make sure that speech is off. I'm not going to be using that. Inking and typing. Turn off. Also, you could just clear what might already be on it. Definitely turn off diagnostics and feedback. You know, it's just kind of turning off a lot of that telemetry and just data and things that you're just not going to want to give Microsoft or just things you're just not going to use in general. So I'll just run through here and turn it basically all off. I also like to keep this on enhanced, so it goes through the whole PC whenever it's searching for files. So I'll switch that over. Okay, I'm not going to be using any location services or anything. Turn all this off. So I will be using the microphone for programs such as like OBS or Discord, so I'll keep that on for now. Not going to be using voice activation. I'm going to just turn off notifications, kind of annoys me. Turn off account info. Not gonna sync contacts or anything with my PC. I'll just turn that off. Definitely not gonna be making phone calls with it. Turn that all off. Turn off email. Not gonna use that. Nope. And I don't think I'm going to use this as a radio. Not sure why you would need that. Example beacons. I'm going to turn that off. You'll turn off the app diagnostics. A lot of these other settings I'll just keep on. You know, in order for some apps to work, you might need to let them access documents, downloads, and whatnot. This is kind of a weird one. Text and image generation, I'm going to turn it off. All right, let's go into gaming, the most important section, and turn off game bar. Because I don't use it. Game mode's fine. You know, if you want to play games, this computer won't be used for that, so I'll just be turning it off. All right, let's do a little more customization here. So on the lock screen, I like to turn off the little weather icons and stuff. It's kind of annoying. I like everything looking very clean, so I just turn that off. In the start, I do more pins because I don't like all the recommendation stuff it always shows. I'll do the show recently added apps and probably just turn the rest of these off. All right, next up, since you can't really get rid of it, we are going to optimize the Microsoft Edge browser. So just kind of turn off some of these settings. Yeah, you don't really need any of these. You know, it's just a bunch of annoying stuff that just pops up in your face every time you open the application. Okay, after changing some of those settings, you'll want to get a cool background image for your account and wallpaper. So you can just go Google Images. I just save them and make a folder for it, probably in the pictures folder on Windows, and you can just save all your wallpapers and whatnot in there. Give them a name like cat and you're good to go. So we'll go into settings. I just click on the account. We'll make that the picture for the account. So you just browse files, get that one you just got, and there you go. Now you have a photo for your local user account. So usually for background images and everything, I'll just put them in the pictures folder. Just make a folder inside the pictures folder and we'll just throw that in there. Now let's get a cool wallpaper for the background. How about this kitty cat in space? And to change your background, just go in the personalization, background, and change this to picture. And then also we'll change the lock screen to a photo as well. So let's get one for that. How about another cool cat in space? I kind of like this one. And there you go. Now your lock screen can have a cool photo as well. Also turn off these tips, they're annoying. And there you go. All right, another thing that I like to do is turn off desktop icons. You can turn it off or on if you want. I keep it off just to keep it all really clean looking. And then pin the recycle bin also to start before you do that. There you go. Throw that in the system. Just doing some little organization here. What I also like to do is make the documents window a bit more condensed and better looking. So you can go to show and then compact view. Kind of looks more like classic Windows. Then you also want to show hidden items. And when you go to options, you can change some things in here. So all you just do is go to view and just check the items that you like to see or want. Okay, next I'm going to go to Nanite and just get some programs that I like to have starting off on the machine. So we'll get like Brave Browser, Visual Studio Code if you need it. Notepad++ is also good too. I'm not going to use any of those. Maybe Zoom on this computer. Foobar is a great one, or Winamp if you want music. We'll get some codecs, Handbrake. And of course you want to also get 7-zip. And that's all I'll need for this computer. So you click on Get Nanite and it'll do a direct download link. Then it will just download all those programs for you pretty much. So also once those programs are done installing, you can pin them to the start. So we'll do Brave and Zoom. And of course, once you pin them, you can start organizing them however you like. So here we have video calls, and then you can throw in all the browsers right here. Organize it how you like. We can also change the name to something a little bit more fun, Web Surfer. There you go. Okay, once you have everything how you like it, we'll open up Brave next. I prefer using this as my primary browser, this or Firefox. So we'll just skip all this, don't share anything. And then let's start customizing this so it looks a little bit better. So let's not show that bookmarks thing. It's really annoying. Hide all this stuff. When you open up the program, go to Custimize here. Change this however you like it. I usually like uploading my own wallpapers. I think that's a fun feature. Turn all this off. Don't need the news. I turn off the search right there as well. No thanks. All right. And also changes. You can also change all these things up here in the little dock. So we'll just hide all these. I'm not going to be using wallets or VPNs on this or anything. At least not the one they suggest. All right, now Brave looks a little bit better. Okay, next let's get the Titus tool. I like using this as a way to debloat the Windows system. I've been using it for quite some time and it works pretty good. So you'll want to just open up PowerShell, run as administrator. I'll also put all those here in the start menu and give them a little folder here, I guess you could say. Add the command prompt as well. We'll just call this terminals. Terminal. All right, so open up PowerShell as administrator. So you'll want to right click it, run as administrator. All right, be sure to copy the link on his website, hit enter, and it should open up so we can start using the tool. All right, so once we get here, you can go to tweaks, and I just do standard and kind of go through it. see what you want to keep and not keep. I'll change the PowerShell 7. Disable recall. Be sure to do that. Debloat Brave and Edge. Kind of go through these, see which ones you want and don't want. I do not want recommendations there. Mouse acceleration I always turn off. Looks pretty good. So basically you can just hit the run tweaks and it will basically execute these and debloat your system. This could take a little bit of time. You might need to restart, but we'll let that get to work and we'll be right back. So while that's running, I'm also going to grab Geek Uninstaller. This is a great way just to uninstall programs on your Windows computer. So we'll just download the zip there. Here, and we'll go to extract all. There's Geek Uninstaller. Double click and it'll just run as an executable. And here you go. You can go through and look at what programs you want and don't want. The main one we want to look at is in the view and look at the Microsoft apps. What I also like to do is make a tools folder to put exes like this in. So we'll just call this uninstaller, just so you always have it on hand and it's saved in your documents. Okay, another program that I like using also to debloat as a secondary measure is O&O Shutup. So just go to the official website and download it. So I like to do a similar thing like I did with the Geek Uninstaller. I'll make its own folder here in my tools document and just drag the exe over so you always have it. While we're waiting on the Titus tool to complete, we'll just add some cool photos to the Brave browser. So when you open it up, it will give you a cool cat photo. Okay, now the tweaks are finally finished. So we'll just restart the machine. All right, so we restarted the machine. Another thing that I noticed whenever I run the Titus tool is it turns off the virus and threat protection. So we'll just turn that back on. And there we go. It's looking pretty clean. So let's start using some more of those debloating tools. I'm going to tools and we'll go in the Geek Uninstaller. All right, so you can just go through here, see what programs you need. We'll go to view and then the Microsoft store. And in here, we'll delete some of these. I would be careful. Just make sure you have a restore point, just in case you delete something that was critical to the operating system. The Titus tool should make a recovery point for you, but programs like Get Help, I usually get rid of because I never use that. And you can go through here and see which ones you need. I'm not going to do any mobile devices on this machine, so we'll get rid of that. We'll get rid of phone link and sound recorder. Sounds kind of sketchy. Let's get rid of that. And I won't be doing any Xbox gaming on here, so we'll get rid of that as well. And that should be about it for right now. So after that, as a final debloating measure, we'll run O&O Shutup. And what I'll usually do is apply the recommended settings and then go on through with it. All right, so I'll just scroll down and just make sure that there isn't anything else I want to turn off. Like I said before, I'm not going to be doing phone calls or call history. Disable some of these app accesses. Again, this might be overkill, but it's just to double check and make sure that all this stuff is truly turned off in the Windows operating system, so we can make it more like a normal operating system that doesn't spy on you every turn you take. Okay, yeah, I'm also going to disable OneDrive. And we'll just do that as well. And definitely disable the AI. Then you should be able to exit and it should take into effect all of that, and it will ask you to restart Windows. All right, next up, let's get some extensions for Brave, just for privacy and security purposes. So first one I'm going to look at is Ghostry, Tracker and Ad Blocker. I also made a full video on the extensions that I like using. It was more so for Firefox, but a lot of them also can be applied to Brave or most browsers that you might want to use. All right. After we install that, enable Ghostry. So after we get Ghostry, you can do Privacy Badger. Let's add this to Brave as well. Just another layer of blocking trackers and ads that you don't need or want. We will also add some extensions to Edge if you like using that, so you can add the Ghostry. So we'll just add that, and then we'll go ahead and get Privacy Badger as well. All right, another program that I like getting is here in the Microsoft Store. It's called Ear Trumpet. Just makes managing your audio a little bit easier. So once you download it, you just drag it down there in your taskbar and check that out. You can adjust the volumes in any programs you have open. Then I'll also pin that to the start. And I'll just add it to tools. All right, next up I'm going to show a technique to block a bunch of unwanted connections in your host file. This will mainly be focused on the Microsoft Windows and services like that. So you'll go to this link. I'll put it down in the description below, and you'll want to copy all of this information here, and we're going to stick it in our host file on the machine. So you'll want to go to your File Explorer, Local Disk, Windows, then find System32, drivers, etc, and host file. So we'll open up another File Explorer, and we'll just throw that here in the documents. So just grab the host file and drag it over. Continue. All right, and then let's open it with Notepad. Okay. And now let's put in all those connections we want to block. And then just hit save. And then we'll just drag the host file back on over. Hit continue, and there we go. And then restart your machine, and those will take effect. As a side note, if you use Notepad a lot, here's some settings you can change. I always turn off Copilot. That'll also get rid of that annoying Copilot symbol there on the far right. And there you go. As a side note, after restarting, you might get this warning in Windows Defender. Just allow the threat. It's just showing that you basically modified the host file, and it's thinking that there's a host file hijacked. However, that was us, so just allow that for those changes to take effect. Anyway, I hope that this video helps y'all out. I was just setting up this Windows PC just to debloat and optimize it a little bit more, make it look all clean. You also grab like LibreOffice to have free office services and organize everything so it just looks real clean and like a modern operating system. And I think how Windows should look if you just purchase a new laptop instead of having all these ads and random stuff in your face. So anyway, hope y'all like the video, and I'll see y'all next time.